adamın. Git canım.
Drone'dayız.
Söyle duyuyor.
Drone'dayız.
And you're live.
Abi şey girmeye başladı.
We don't hear you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome along to the World Downhill Skateboarding Championships here in AKSARAY, Turkey, in this beautiful part of the world. We're in the middle of free practice right now. The riders are just having their second practice runs on a pretty wet, pretty windy day, but we are hoping that the weather is going to get a little bit better for finals later on. I'm Ian Findlay in the commentary tent, I think it's fair to say. Wrapped up warm for the day. Temperatures around about 11, 12 degrees. It's a pretty chilly day for everyone involved. As you can see, those flags, the World Downhill Skateboarding Championship flags, are blowing around in the wind. Some of the riders having to get the wet tyres on it as well on this second run. It's been a little bit damp really all morning. Changing conditions on the track, that's for sure. A few adjustments, as you'll have seen on social media at WDS Championship. I'll work on how I say that throughout the day. That's where to follow us on Instagram. You'd have seen yesterday that we didn't get the qualifying done. I'm not able to do that because the riders, in consultation with the World Gravity Sports Federation, decided that it was safer to move the finish line up, get some new hay bales in, and make that track a little bit safer. So we're trying to do everything in one day today, and everyone's working exceptionally hard to get everything that we need in place. The track is all set up. The hay bales were put in yesterday afternoon, and this is the second chance for the riders this morning. Local time here in Turkey is, what is it? It's bang on 11 a.m. here in Turkey. So the riders on this second practice run. We're going to do two qualifying runs later on today. Pretty much as soon as the riders get back to the top after this second practice, we will get the two qualifying runs underway. Then we're going to just keep blasting through the program as well as we can, as quick as we can, and get into the finals later on today. It's a brand new track for all of these riders. It is a long track, just around about 3 kilometers, drops 300 meters. Originally 12 hard braking turns and some long straight sections as well. All of those turns are tight hairpins, around about 90 degrees. Been a little bit of resurfacing done over the last couple of weeks as well. You'll see those patches on the track.
Chase Hiller. We're watching Chase Hiller. Ian, that's Chase Hiller.
So we were on board with Chase Hiller from the drone cam. We're back with Chase here. And we've got people out on the track on rollerblades, on skates as well. And then we're on the drone again with Chase. This sort of pretty barren landscape, but when the cloud lifted yesterday, wow, what a view we get from up here, and the hospitality as well has been absolutely fantastic. A huge thank you to everybody, of course, for all of their work in putting this event on. Some fantastic shots of Chase Hiller just on this second run. Of course, we're expecting the riders to step it up on run number, well, not run number 2, but once we get into qualifying, we're going to push it a little bit harder. The speeds are going to increase. We're hoping the rain is going to disappear as well. You can see some of these long sweeping sections in between the hairpins as we had have a look in the start area as well. No, that's the finish. I do apologise. Get that wrong. So yeah, fog all the way down the course. Did move the finish line up. That is where things were all left yesterday. That is the original finish area. And we're going to be bringing you some interviews with the riders as well. Gemma Kerr in position at the start. She's going to be bringing you all the action. Let's get another look back at the start section. A little bit of fog is lifted from the start, and riders on course here. There's a little bit of sunshine breaking through as well in places. Come out of the start and speed builds up pretty quickly into this first left-hander. And seeing these wet conditions, it is about sort of managing the speed, managing the risk as well coming into this first turn. So don't forget to check out the website World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. Excuse me. Gonna have to throw a load of water down my throat throughout the day here. Yeah, check out the website. Check us out on social media using the hashtag WDSC Cappadocia, hashtag WDSC as well. Lots of content out there, some behind the scenes interviews with the riders as well. A lot of footage being provided by the riders as well, hopefully over the day. We've got the three categories, as I'm sure you know, the open skate, women's skateboard, and street luge as well. Just trying to see if I can get some live timing up as well. We might have some timing actually for this practice run. It's not showing this second, but check out the website and I'm sure the guys will have it for you. Oh, maybe I've clicked the wrong link. Let's see. So apologies if you pick up any wind on the mics coming in. We've tried to sort of tape up the commentary position here just to shelter from the wind and the rain. A few more riders passing through on their second of two free practice runs. I think we're looking at Harry Clark there, just leading this group down. So what are we doing in the practice? What are the riders doing here? Well, it's all about just feeling out lines, feeling out road conditions. Bit of a change from yesterday. The conditions were dry, of course. Still starting at the moment in the same position, but it was a dry day yesterday, and the track now just holding a little bit of moisture. So riding on different wheels, putting the wet wheels on, and it's just changes how things go out on the track. And see, heading into a little bit of fog there. That's going to make commentating a little bit harder. But hey, I've done it before. We'll just keep chatting away. Back on the drone cam here, and isn't that some fantastic close-up footage? see spots where a lot of the work has gone into resurfacing the road ahead of this event. Huge effort to turn things around super quick. Descending the HASANDAGI, one of the two summits of the volcano Mount Hasan. It's right in front of me. It's 3,268 meters in altitude. You're feeling a little bit of altitude up here as well. Just takes that little bit longer to walk up the hill. Well, we got a problem there, and well, thankfully she's okay. Going to get back on the board and restart it. This is what your practice runs are all about. Try and get the mistakes out of the way early, get rid of them, and just focus on the qualifying runs and the finals later on. That is where it all counts. So. See, just coming into the turn, just slowing the speed down and really trying to feel the lines, things running a little different with the wet conditions on the track, and just having to adjust the line, particularly adjusting the speed coming into the corners as well. Don't want to overcook it coming in too quick and end up in those hay bales. Still sitting on the drone cam, bringing you footage. Got full coverage of the track as well. See these long straights, and it's a real leg burner as well with the length of this track, so some good fitness certainly is going to help. See, once the turns are pretty tight, but you do have space on some of them just to let it run out a little bit, looking at those lines. So tight at the start of each of the turns. Just taking a look back at the start area. And we're going to throw to Gemma in the start area now.
So we're here at the start line, getting a little bit wet, and you may hear from my husky voice that the cold mountain air has got the better of me already, but it doesn't matter. We have already had our practice sessions, and I'm joined now by Will Stevenson, race director, to talk us through what we can expect today. So, Will, thank you for joining me. We may have to move out of the way in a minute. We've got lots going on here at the start. Will, talk us through the situation, because we're doing all of our racing today.
Yes, so we're doing the qualifications and the racing today. The reason for that is because of the very changeable situation that we have here. We've had to move some of our bales around, and safety is absolute paramount. So we spoke to our riders and our competitors. They wanted some bales moving, so we've shortened the course. We've taken out turn 12, and we've bolstered everything else that we've got. In addition to taking out that other corner, we've put in an additional 600 straw bales. So there's now lots of protection throughout the whole course.
That's great to hear, but obviously confidence in the safety of the course is paramount for the riders. So you've sorted that. What you can't sort is the weather, and as you can probably see, it's chucking it down. How does that affect the riders' mentality going into this course?
It's a different skill level that you need. It's something else that you need to be practicing on and training on is wet riding. I mean, this is only drizzle at the moment. Yes, the tarmac is wet, but we have raced before with the rain has literally been bouncing off the ground and a river flowing down the road, like we did in Ariang Hill in 2018. So it is doable. But this track, it is very, very fast, and it does have some quite slick turns. So it's really down to the riders and how you balance that riding style. With street luge, you might change your weight distribution between the front and back, because if you start putting too much weight on the back end's going to slide around, and you really got to get as much grip as you can on the front. A lot of the riders now changing around their wheel setups, so now they're using grooved wheels to try and dissipate the water and get a little bit more grip.
That's a good point, actually. We're complaining a little bit about the rain, but the riders themselves said they'd actually prefer... We're going to move a bit, guys, so just come over for the ride. When I was talking, they were saying actually that it's either going to be full-on rain or no rain. It's the in-between that makes it tricky on this course because they don't know what to expect. They don't know what wheels to use. So actually, they might prefer a bit more rain.
Yeah, a full-on wet course is different because a patchy course is not good because you might start sliding the board and then it hits a dry patch and it bites up again. You can get thrown off that way, or you might be going into a corner thinking you've got lots of grip. You get halfway around it and suddenly the grip goes. So it is very difficult. So patchy is the most difficult condition that we have. Like I said, if it's full on wet, we've got all the proper equipment for that. If it's dry, we're happy with that, but it's that in-between thing that really makes it difficult, but also shows out the skill level of these riders. So it's how can they change and adapt to the conditions that they're coming across.
Yes, and you mentioned earlier about how they're going to tackle these corners, and it is incredibly tricky. There's a lot of them. Yeah. I was talking to Andy earlier, and he was saying, especially in terms of the luge, a lot of it also comes down to the fearlessness of the riders. And we do have some who are very fearless. You know, they're not afraid to leave it till the last minute to put the brakes on. But he said we might even see a bit of caution from the likes of, some of the top riders that are normally fearless.
Yes, I mean, you have to be, because today, at the moment, we're still just doing the qualifications this morning, and we've just finished practice, so everyone has been taking it easy. But when it comes to actually racing and you're shoulder to shoulder with someone else, it might just be who's going to be the latest one to break.
Brilliant. So there is so much this, because as we said, as the competition progresses, the ante is going to get higher and higher. The adrenaline is going to be incredible. So stay with us. But for now, Ian, I'll come back to you.
Thanks, Gemma, and I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary position by Liam. Liam, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Sorry I was a little late. I was watching some of the riders take their practice laps, and I was sitting on corner one, so I was trying to get a feel for whether the track was fully dry, fully wet, or a little bit of that in between.
Yeah, it is looking a little bit in between, as we just heard on the chat there, and yeah, that's going to be a bit tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult for sure. The first practice run that they came through, it was actually fully dry, and so they, the riders that got that first run, they got to get a fully dry run. Then when I watched them come through on the second practice run, it was a bit patchy, and I saw some spills. So hopefully, as Gemma mentioned earlier, it kind of goes one way or the other. Yeah. That's what they're looking for.
We're hoping this rain disappears. Can't actually see, but it's the wind's dropped a little bit. The fog is sitting in on the track, and as you say, Liam, we want to get just one way or another, because that's the best thing for the riders, and that's what this is all about. And you rode the track yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a chance to ride it a couple times. I've maybe done 4 or 5 runs down it. I didn't ride it in these conditions at all. But yeah, I mean, it's a good track, and luckily, actually, the type of pavement, it doesn't absorb water too heavily, is what I'm seeing. So if we can get some sun poking through, we may dry up pretty quick, and they'll be back to fully dry.
Yeah, we did get some sun yesterday afternoon, and well, hopefully it comes back out. But right now, the riders have done the two free practice runs. Heading into qualifying, they got to sit on the sort of 10-minute bus journey. What's going through a rider's mind right now on that bus journey?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing they're probably all thinking about is what wheels to ride. So, if it's fully wet and there's quite a bit of standing water on the track, they're going to want those rain wheels with the grooves in them that help displace the water. And then if it's dry, they're going to want normal slick wheels for maximum grip.
We have Andrew Spate with Gemma. Andrew Spate.
So we're going to head back into the start with Gemma, who's going to have a chat with Andrew Spate.
So I'm here now with Andy Spate, one of our wonderful luge masters. Andy, thank you for agreeing for an interview out in the rain. I'm wearing a hood, you're not. So we were just talking earlier with Will about the conditions out there today. Now, you were actually very kind to take me out on the luge yesterday, and you were talking me through how the different riders are going to approach the corners, especially on this course. So perhaps you could just, elaborate for our viewers.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be quite different for people depending on the size and the weight of the rider and people's riding style. So this is a very, very technical track and a very long track. You have to wait your time and you have to progress at your own rate. At the moment, with these weather conditions, visibility is getting a bit tricky. Yeah, the bottom part of the section, visibility is probably less than 30 yards. so you have to prepare to go into the corners.
And let's talk a little bit about the length of the course as well, because this is one of the longer ones on the series, isn't it? So what are the effects of that in terms of physicality, also mentality?
Well, mentally you've got to be prepared for it. It's 3 kilometres long with 11 corners in now, which is a lot more than normal, and they are highly technical corners. They're not easy corners. Some of them are fast, some of them are slow, so you've got to be prepared for each one. On your body, all the core strength is what you need.
Yeah, you had abdominal cramp yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, as usual for me. Yes, people that know me know that is what I do suffer from, and yes, even after one run I was getting cramp, so yes.
So we've talked about the challenges, the things to look out for, the difficulties, but let's talk a bit about the positives, because there was a lot of fun being had yesterday out on the course during some of the practices, so there are some positives to the tricky elements of the course.
Yeah, it's always interesting. Where going down by yourself is quite different to going down with 4 other people around you. It's fun. We're all here to have fun, that is the main thing. Yeah, there is a competition going on, we all compete, but yes, we all have a lot of fun on the way down as well.
And I can confirm that. I mean, the atmosphere here, when everyone was getting ready to head out, everybody's up for it. They're game, they're excited, they want to just get out there and get at it. And yes, okay, some may have been slightly nervous about the conditions, but it doesn't stop them wanting to get out there and race. So you're all ready for action, aren't you?
It's whether it's rain, wind, snow, we're all out there, yeah. We've all been in all these situations before, yeah.
You're hardcore.
Not preferable, but we can put up with it, yeah.
Well, ultimate respect to you. So just a reminder for everybody at home, so we're just waiting now for the riders to come back up the hill. They've finished their final practice for the morning. We're going to then kick off with our time trials. The time trials is the way that we seed all of our riders ahead of the qualifying rounds, so our quarterfinals, semis and finals, and our rounds of 64 and 32. So we're waiting for those riders to come back up the hill, then we'll get started with our time trials, starting with the downhill skating, followed by the luge. So lots to look forward to, and I'll see if I can get you a few more interviews while we wait.
So with free practice all completed, we're going to take a quick break. Keep an eye on social media on Wdsc Championship on Instagram, and we'll let you know when we're dropping back live again. But keep your eyes peeled there, and we'll be back as soon as we can. See you in a few minutes.